So we, the people, have had 3 major wins in the last couple of days. I'll go over those 3 wins with you, and I'll also mention 3 things in the news that happened this week that you probably didn't hear. Well, some of you probably heard some of them because you're like me and you actually do research on the web, but I probably would guarantee there's at least one of those 3 things you didn't hear that you're going to say, holy sh**. So you probably all remember when Hillary Clinton said that they were losing the info war. Now supposedly she was talking about the government, but a lot of people assumed, and that's including myself, she was talking about the globalists and the elites are losing the info war. Well, it turns out she was right. And not only losing, they are losing badly. And that's why they have to get control of the internet with CISPA or PIPA or SOPA or POPA or PIPA or whatever the IPA is of the week. This week it's CISPA. And it's going to the Senate, so let's do what we can to stop it. We have to stop CISPA. Back to what I was saying. So we had 1 major win. Actually, we've had 3 good wins this week. We the people, the liberty lovers. And the first win is the New York Times, which admitted that they didn't vet Barack Obama and that they were kind of mesmerized by his speaking and the hope and change and the fact that he was a liberal black guy. They were just absolutely in love. They admitted it in an article this week. And not only that, they said that they're going to do their best to actually vet him this time around. Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see about that. But they have started reporting some news that otherwise they probably wouldn't be reporting. For example, the New York Times, basically they were an article today admitting that the FBI facilitates and makes fake terrorist scenarios where they'll get this idiot dimwit and they'll convince him to go take a fake bomb and they'll get him to do this. They'll use FBI informants. And then they'll tell the public that it was a real threat when there was never any real threat. It was all manufactured. And why do they do this? They do this to take more of our rights. And obviously there's been people telling us this. Ron Paul's told us about this kind of stuff. Alex Jones have told us about this kind. Gerald Celente, countless others. I could go on and on. And a lot of us already knew this. But to see a major newspaper like the New York Times actually admit that this has been going on is a major victory for we the people. We're doing a hell of a job of informing people of the truth. And the newspapers at this point have lost all credibility, and the New York Times is in big financial trouble, actually getting ready to shut their doors. They're so close to going under, and they're a huge liberal media outlet that has done really horrible things to this country, which includes not vetting someone that ran for president. So, there's 1 win for us. Congratulations, American people. Win number 2! Eric Holder looks like he's going to face contempt charges from Congress for refusing to show up to answer questions over Fast and Furious. Of course, we all know what Fast and Furious is and the atrocities that's happened under Eric Holder and Barack Obama under Fast and Furious. And there's been many presidents of the past that's been impeached for much, much less. That's win number 2. I would definitely say that's a win that the MSM is covering the story that Congress is actually trying to hold Eric Holder in contempt and actually file contempt charges against Eric Holder for failing to appear before Congress and answer questions on the atrocity that is Fast and Furious. Let's move on to win number 3. Win number 3 is the fact that Ron Paul is sweeping all the delegates in these caucus states. Over the weekend, Ron Paul swept the delegates in Louisiana. He got most of the delegates out of Alaska. He got most of the delegates out of Maine. And he also, this is an important one, did really, really well in Mitt Romney's own backyard of Massachusetts. Which everybody said, oh, no one has a chance in Massachusetts of doing anything because Romney was the governor there. Well, somebody forgot to tell the Massachusettsians that because Ron Paul did really well in Massachusetts with the delegates. So, and there's a lot more. I mean, there's Iowa, there's Missouri, and you can go on and on. You can post some below if you like, because I know I didn't mention all of them. And off the top of my head, he's winning so many, it's hard to keep track. Hey, MSM, why don't you start reporting on that? Hey, there's a story for you, New York Times. You want to get your subscribership back up? the readership, why don't you report the actual news about how Ron Paul is sweeping the caucus states? That's an idea. Now, 3 things that you probably didn't hear about this week that are pretty important things and really interesting things. One thing that just developed tonight is that the guy that did Andrew Breitbart was the guy that had the Obama college tape, and he's like, this is going to destroy Obama, I'm going to release it on March 1st, and he did that like 2 months before March 1st. By the way, everyone out there, let me do you a favor. If you have a videotape that's going to destroy a sitting president, do not announce that you're going to release it on a certain date, or you may too find yourself having a heart attack at a premature age. So yeah, he said, I got this college tape, it's going to destroy Obama. And it was supposed to release it on March 1st, and March 1st at midnight, or actually the night before at midnight, he dies of a heart attack at like 43 years old. It happens, but this was very suspicious. The coroner that did the autopsy said he wasn't going to play politics with this, and he was going to report it like it was. He was doing a real investigation, and he would not be pressured into reporting it any other way than he saw it. Well, he did his investigation. He came out and he said, this was a heart attack. Massive heart failure, and there was no drugs or alcohol involved. And, very strange that a 43-year-old guy would just die of a massive heart failure walking home from, wherever he was, a party or something. So, yeah, the coroner released that. Now, what's so funny is the coroner was so zealous in public and outspoken about, this is very suspicious, and I'm going to do my investigation. I'm not going to be swayed for any political reason. Dies. He dies at 60 years old. Well, now they think he was poisoned with arsenic. And it's very strange. I would have to say, the 2 things, you line them up, 43-year-old dying of a heart attack, then you got an awesome coroner that says he's going to do his job no matter what, and now he's dead. Under suspicious circumstances, and the police are investigating that. I wouldn't want to be the police officer investigating that, because the dude that was investigating the last guy ended up dropping over dead. So whoa, that's a lot of responsibility. So okay, the number 2 thing that you probably didn't hear this week, but you probably should know, is there's this thing that keeps popping up, and I'm going to put some pictures over here about Barack Obama's real father. And there's basically this conspiracy out there, but actually it's like all things with Barack Obama. They linger long enough, and where there's smoke, there's probably a communist smoking a cigar somewhere in Obama's past. But actually, where there's smoke, there's fire. Anyhow, this thing has been boiling up. It's been out there for about a year now, but basically Barack Obama's real father wasn't the Kenyan, but it was this other guy that knew Barack Obama's grandpa, and then hung out in the neighborhood with Barack Obama's mom, and there's some... I'm not going to go into it. I'll post a picture there. You can tell Barack Obama looks a lot like this guy from the neighborhood that hung out with Barack Obama's mama. And I want to post a link below if you want to read more about that story, you can. But more and more it's starting to look like, just like Obama's eligibility case, there actually might be something to this story. Alright, the number 3 story that you probably didn't hear this week, but is of utmost importance, is that a senator may have let it slip as to why Congress is so afraid to investigate the Obama eligibility. Birth certificate, foreign birth, the whole 9. So why are they so afraid? I'm going to post a link below, but basically the gist of it, that the senator says, is because it would create a constitutional crisis, likes of this country has never seen. And he goes into how basically the last time we had a constitutional crisis of this nature, we had a civil war, and suggests that it could throw our country into civil war, and it would divide our country, and blah, 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 blah. But what this really does is shows that maybe Congress knows a little bit more about the birth certificate than they've been letting on. And maybe they know that there's a real issue here with Obama's eligibility, but for whatever reason, they're scared to do anything about it. Let me tell you, Senator, if you're worried about America being divided, America couldn't be much more divided than we are now under this sitting president. So if you guys know something, or if you have evidence of something, do your job that you were sent there to do, and uphold the Constitution at all costs. And I hope you found this video informative. If you did, like it down there, and you can subscribe up there. Please, by all means, leave a comment below so that I know how you feel, and we can have some dialogue. I love to talk to you people, because you're the smartest people in the United States. And all my brothers in UK and Canada that comment, you, my friends, are also the smartest people in the world. And let's have a little conversation getting started on this stuff. And I hope this was some stuff that you didn't know, but if you did know it and you know anything else about it, feel free to email me and share, because a lot of people email me stuff that I didn't know. And I always appreciate it. And I usually always send you back a thank you letter and telling you I didn't know that, and say thanks a lot for this. I didn't know it. I don't know how I missed it, because all I do is read and work out, baby. That's all I do. So, alright, all us out.